We are starting this journey with a dynamic panel discussion, Tech Renaissance in Trading, Empowering Brokers. Let's welcome the moderator of the session, Mr. Dino Michaelidis, Director at DGM Tech Solutions, who will introduce his panel. Dino, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to what promises to be an enlightening discussion over here. In light of the topic of our discussion, I think it makes sense to start off the conversation with a question around artificial intelligence and how is AI, how is it shaping the industry, and what do you see? I guess Andrew, maybe take this question in your experience. How do you see AI shifting the landscape, let's call it, in our industry?
Yes, it is a very interesting dynamic, actually, and you can see these two letters now are a major, not even a buzzword, a buzz acronym, you could say, where you see it pretty much everywhere, and everybody is talking about AI and what's going to come next with an artificial intelligence wave of developing its product. I would say that in this industry specifically, AI in its current form isn't necessarily going to be the next step of development, because currently there are, and it also depends on the type of trade, the type of expertise that a trader has and what type of company they're trading with. And I'll come back to that. But basically, I would say that there are currently some, in terms of technological development, there are some tools which are converting native language into script for trading purposes, or to help traders understand, to analyze data a bit easier if they're less experienced. But ultimately, there are already a lot of very, very advanced existing tools and trading financial software that actually focuses on giving those decisions quickly, giving the information very quickly. What it doesn't do, generally speaking, is perhaps to give education or information with that price. For example, if you've got a trading platform that shows a price and it comes up really quickly, and you're looking at news feeds and things like that, there's a lot of resources on the internet which will aggregate all those things and come to a certain market sentiment or something like that. There's a lot of third-party tools that you can plug into platforms and give that sentiment. But there's no real educational or informational content around it. So I think where you might see some use for AI in the future is that it will help less experienced traders manage to analyze all the amount of data that's available for the trading environment much quicker, and give them the bite-sized information that they can actually take on board in a way that's understandable, and not have to go through endless company reports to try and work out whether a particular stock is going to go a certain way. So I think it's more on the educational side. You can see that with things like GitHub, which converts some native language tools into actionable content. But I think it will be more around the content side than the actual execution side at the moment. And you can see that with companies like, some companies over the last few years have issued certain simplified platforms so that it caters for the traders according to their expertise level. So I think that the AI side of trading will be more on the content aggregation and the way content is presented rather than the actual trading itself.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And if we look at trading platforms, how they were 10, 15 years ago, in a sense, the analysis of data, I think, is quite an important strategy around traders and what they do in terms of their trading activity, the insight that they get. But when we talk about AI, there's a different element there. It's not just historical analysis. It's more. It's real time. It's more macroeconomics into the mix. And I think a second element, and a kind of a segue into my next question, is, how does a trader access, the user experience, making it easy for the average Joe? How can an average trader who is not too tech savvy but wants to access the markets and leverage off of AI, and that is a segue into, let's call this, next generation trading platforms? And Luke, I think you're in the best position to answer this question. So, the trading platforms that are, I guess, evolving, and how do you see the industry shaping towards integrating artificial intelligence into the way traders trade?
Got it. So how do platforms that want to innovate integrate AI in their technology? So I'm looking at it this way. So 15 years ago and today, the regular trader acts totally different way. In the last 3-4 years, you have a lot of young traders coming in. They want everything fast. They want everything now. The attention span is shorter. They're used to using technology, other tools that are very intuitive. So the learning curve is much shorter. So the moment they come on the platform, if they don't know what to do, if they don't know how to use it, well, they'll just either leave or look elsewhere, or try to figure it out. If they don't, they'll just leave. So AI plays, in my opinion, a big role in making everything faster, make it easier for the trader to adapt, make it more customer friendly. From the perspective of analysis, to executing a trade, to being more social on the platform or wherever in the trading sphere, to also developing something on your own. So AI can help you in all of these spheres.
That's definitely right. I think you're right about there's an important point there you raised, Luca, about the entry point of each trader. Existing traders who have been trading for a very long time may not necessarily be interested in going down the route of AI because, let's be fair, there's been a lot of self-programmed EAs and things like that have been around for 20 years, and there's been a lot of algos that are around. These are not AI, these are programmed that work with interfaces for the more professional traders. Then you have the more retail-focused trader that is trading from home. I don't think that they are quite going to stay with their existing interfaces. What will happen is the newer, like you say, the newer traders, the younger ones who have never been trading before, the next generation is where the change might come. And I think that change will be made by the fact that they have got used to the intuitive mobile apps in other areas of their life and have come into trading from expecting that type of very intuitive interface that's very simplified and very user-friendly. That's where using AI tools to scour the internet for the important data and get it into a rationalized format and then execute trades on a very intuitive platform with everything in one place. I think that generation is who is possibly going to use those things. But I don't think it will revolutionize anything for anyone who is already in the market.
Yeah, 2 points here. First, if I don't see a way a trader or regular user, modern internet user is going to use modern tools everywhere, every day of their life, and then go to a platform where it's not the same. That's one point.
Correct.
And the second one is traders who are already successful, who are trading year after year successfully, they're in profit, they're doing really good. There's almost no chance they will change what they're doing because it works.
That's absolutely right.
But a life cycle of a trader is pretty short on average. So most of the platforms, brokers, prop firms, and that attract traders, they're going to attract new users constantly. So the more users they can attract, so easily get them into the platform, into the whole CRM system, the easier it is for them to use it. The more they will use it, the more they will trade, and of course there is the technology that can help them then manage risk better, make them more profitable, so they will stay longer, the volume will increase, the number of traders will increase, so it works for everyone. It works for the broker, it works for the trader.
But sorry guys, can I add on this? Actually, AI has been in use since, I don't know, 2018, 2019. So now it's a very hot topic. But you can find now out there, I don't know, 20, 30 services who offer to you kind of aggregated information over all markets with their recommendations. So that's one of the main usage of AI. So, and another point in terms of technology, the AI is being used already at many technologies in terms of guiding the clients where to press the button and what this button was designed for, So that's the two main business cases to use AI?
Yeah, there's things like FinTool, which is exactly as you describe. It's one of those services where it quickly shows what's happening in the marketplace by scouring the internet and processing market sentiment and other such data into very readable, quick bite-sized chunks so that you can scroll through the list of hot topics. There's basically like hot topics of the day, and they scroll through it. And you can use that on a mobile device it's web-based, according to, and switch between your platform and that very, very easily. So I think it's mostly that is the way, it's the way that maybe traders might use it. But there is less of a use case, I think, for going down the AI route in full, because, of course, there are already lots of traders who are going, as you say, Luca, making profit, and they're used to their trading platform. We all know how hard it is to get somebody to learn a different way of operating when they've been doing it for a long time and they're very happy with what they're doing, which is why it's important for a brokerage to choose the right platform in the first place and nurture their business in a scalable way where they can actually keep adding things to it. But of course, that I think is more important than the AI itself. In other industries, for example, other web-based online industries, for example, language translation services, AI has put some of them out of business because they were before AI, you had to go to a translation company, submit your text, they would have to translate it properly, and it would be like a document process. Now with AI, that can be done on a user-generated content basis, and it can all be examples of documents can be grabbed from the internet, and everything can be accurate. But in trading, it isn't like that at all, and it's really a question of brokerages having invested in their technology in a way which they have, like Arthur, like you say, FinTool and things like those services, I think are more an ancillary service is more where we will see it happening, particularly for the more novice traders and the new entrants into the market.
Very valid point, and I think there's also looking at the history, right? And when we compare how do traders trade today, who'd say, in terms of successful traders, why would they want to change the way they trade? And if you look at the 80s, how they were trading back then, over a telephone line, place this, whatever, call, put options, whatever it is, shouting over the trading floor, that has obviously evolved, and that trading, that way of trading worked for many traders. Today we have different interfaces, and maybe AI opens up a different interface. Who knows what Meta can bring, or the virtual world, and that is perhaps natural language processing. Speaking to the interface, telling it what you want, and then it understands exactly and kind of transforms that into your orders. Which kind of opens up, I guess, Alexi, for you maybe to answer over here. In your opinion, today's interface is mobile is a very important one. And one question that I have is building that context, let's say, the transition, let's call it from mobile to perhaps a voice-based trading approach. And maybe that won't be possible to do on the, let's call it the whole client's journey, because you've got things like depositing your, maybe crypto processing, maybe Arthur can touch on that. But for now, let's look at the mobile trading. What benefits do you see today? How traders benefiting off of the way the interface is today, and your kind of perspective around how it could evolve.
Okay, thanks. So we're seeing a push on developers to actually, create a mobile platform which is equally as strong as a desktop or a web platform. And it's not actually about shrinking that device to actually fit, in your palm. It's about, recreating that experience for the trader to use, the mobile and to be actually as useful as a web trader or, a desktop trader. And, in a world where everyone is on the move, traders constantly want to be trading on the go. So, with trades becoming more automated, we're seeing that, trading platforms are actually adapting, in allowing traders to trade on the go, with push notifications and, allowing them to, just take, specific actions when needed. So, yes, we're seeing a major switch towards mobile, and, phones are like a device that can tap us into the pulse of the market constantly.
Do you see any, let's call it threats, Because technology, even though it does give opportunity, for growth, and we've also got to not ignore the security side of things, cybersecurity. What kind of threats do you see for brokers as well? Remember, we're in the B2B space, and in an indirect way, we kind of shaping the environment on how traders trade. Let's talk about cybersecurity.
So in regards to cyber threats, they're coming smarter and they're becoming more sophisticated. And the worst part about it is they're using AI and machine learning against us. So, all companies need to, take cybersecurity as they do insurance. You take insurance just in case you need it. So that means, companies, brokers, every single company needs to, have, trained, cyber teams. They need to do their pen tests constantly. They need to monitor their systems for anomalies. And one point I would say is train your staff. Because usually it's the human error that actually, it's someone in marketing, someone in back office. It's not your IT department that's going to press the button and have a malware. And unfortunately, there is no safeguarding in fully protecting yourself. There's only ways to mitigate and reduce the risk of actually getting attacked. And you should always have BCPs in place or disaster recoveries just in case you need them. And what I've seen, and it's my suggestion to everyone in the industry, test them at least 3-4 times a year, because if you do get hacked or you do get a malware attack and you haven't tested them and you need them, you're going to pay for it.
100%. It makes a lot of sense. So, Arthur, you wanted to add something? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let me add on top of that. Actually, in terms of cybersecurity, here we have to understand things. First of all, the cybersecurity can be divided into two main parts. The first one is social engineering, and that's another way how to protect from such potential threat, and engineering. And in terms of engineering, actually, you can prevent a lot of things if you use the right infrastructure during development process and during maintain process. During development process, if you use the right system that can run different security tests, SAST, DAST, security, backdoors, license tests, for instance, GitLab, GitHub Ultimate can give you such ability to run your code, because while your developers will be writing the code, the system behind them will be checking what they do and how they do. So that's why every enterprise company has to have proper solution and they have to check how the developers work there. The second point is your infrastructure. For instance, the cloud solutions like Amazon, AWS, GCP, cloud platform, Google Cloud Platform, and so on, Azure system. So they give you a lot of tools to prevent potential invasions into your systems. And on top of that, you have a network security system, right? So for instance, there are many out there, but Cloudflare, for instance, it's mostly of the famous network security protection. So that's why you see you can protect your system just before, and of course, besides of that, you have to run the performance test, security test, chaos testing, regression test, all kind of tests in order to prevent the users to give him the features that potentially can be broken, or the logic might be wrong, and therefore the hacker can get advantage of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Arthur. I think, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and it's something, that I mean, very insightful, and generally people should pay attention to cybersecurity. But I'm going to switch the conversation a little bit, and I want to ask, maybe Arthur, and perhaps you have more insight with what B2B does, and the rise of crypto, right, in the MENA region. If you can give some insight there, And I guess that's going to open up a lot of, let's call it, leads into shaping the conversation into other directions over here. But let's talk about crypto processing. How do you see it in this region? What are your insights there? What are your findings? And let's hear what you have to say.
Yes, thank you, Dinas. We have launched our B2B and Pay project back in 2017. So it was September 2017. Now it's already almost 6.5 years. And we serve around 500 brokers. I don't know, mostly of all the big brokers who process crypto, they process through us. And I see the growth of the crypto since day one. And if you take a look at my videos on YouTube, back in 2017, I was saying at that time that the stable coin, that's going to be the #1 payment settlement tool. And that's what happened. So, and we see consistent growth every single day. Because it used to be when Bitcoin was taking around 80% of the turnover of the system. Now, USDT and USDC, they are taking around 85–90% of the turnover. And most of the brokers, if you check, all the high-risk business, even though they are regulated, banks consider them as a high risk, they use crypto. In terms of MENA region in particular, as you all aware, here is the VARA regulated authority body, and they already started issuing licenses. And many companies already received initial approvals. Some of them received the full approval, but with some conditions. No one of them yet have been launched, but it's coming. And I think, Dinas, it's going to be massive.
It's a very interesting conversation, and I think what that could potentially lead to is an integration, or let's call it a merging with, banking, potentially trading platforms. I think, Andrew, maybe this is a good question for you over here, is, leading from crypto, and that how could that potentially change the landscape of banking? And then if, we think of this, let's call it super app, right, with regard to financing, and how a single trader manages their finances. Right, you've got banking, you've got crypto that could become mainstream the way it's heading. Multi-asset trading platforms such as what Trade Evolution does. You can give some insight there from your experiences.
Yes, absolutely, and I think it's very interesting that we're looking at crypto as a specific disruptor. It's been around for a long time already. Really, you could say it's relatively mature in a way, but of course there are everyday use case. We've gone past, I think, the period where cryptocurrency is now is being looked at as being a replacement for fiat currency. Those days are gone. What's happened now is that there have been more projects around looking at cryptocurrency as a sort of everyday life case. For example, merchant services having a crypto-based platform, and then users having a borderless token to be able to go and use that. But of course, that's a really clever idea, but almost every single company that's tried to do that hasn't actually brought it to the mainstream yet. And some of them have gone out of business trying to do so. But of course, in this region specifically, you could say that the Middle East, in terms of Dubai, is very much an open for international business, and therefore there's very little need to circumvent the existing system because everything is open here. There are no reasons to. It's a very secure. You can deposit from any country in the world. So I think in this region, it's not so much of a use case. Where is a use case is using crypto as an example of just one potential asset category, or one potential type of potentially tradable asset that is a trend. For example, if we saw crypto CFDs coming up a few years ago, a lot of brokerages got themselves into a bit of hot water trying to offer those, and it cost them a lot of money. So that went by the wayside. But when you're starting to see exchanges offer crypto contracts in North America, you can see that maybe exchange-traded such assets based on exchanges might come about. But the point is here that all brokerages and industry participants should perhaps look at being ready for any such a move to something else and be able to scale their business in a way that is going to be quite easy to do so. So yes, crypto contracts might come along, should be able to easily be able to offer them. Any other such trend which doesn't have such bureaucracy, Arthur, you were mentioning that there needed to be all these regulations in place and so forth, the bureaucracy. Some asset classes are already up and running and are already there and suddenly become a trend in the trading sphere. And for example, last year, we talked about this before, we've seen options become a thing of 2023. That was where a lot of large brokerages rallied to add options to their remit. And they were able to do so because they had their own trading platforms. Companies like Interactive Brokers and so forth did so, and a few others. But of course, it was easy to do so if they had their own infrastructure. What should be looked at from a going forward, a tech renaissance point of view, is your company ready to accept any challenge that might come along, any new asset class that might come into the fray, any trend in trading? Suddenly, we have a lot of traders on forums now talking about what they're trading, and these very influential Reddit boards and things like that. So suddenly someone starts talking about a specific asset class, that asset class gets really popular. It should be able to be handled by your trading platform by simply getting the market data feed and integrating the liquidity source, and away you go. I think that crypto is an example of something which disrupted, but the existing asset classes that already we have in place could disrupt by becoming very popular suddenly. And I think everyone should be able to scale their brokerage in a way that actually is able to accommodate that.
Thank you, Andrew. And I agree with that. Innovation can only progress at the pace of those who dare to try and make the change, right? And obviously some will fail at it, and let's call it fail, but they certainly pave the way for others to kind of pick up the baton and push technology along. And I'd like to hear TradeLocker's approach to that. Give us a bit more, Luca, about what you're doing in this sphere and how you're revolutionizing stuff here.
All right, thank you. So what is TradeLocker doing to innovate? So we're speaking about crypto, right? And we're speaking about new asset classes in trading, and a lot of new traders coming in. The market extends, and a lot of, let's say, newcomers come in. So what I said earlier is we first of all focus on how we build. We decided to start TradeLocker by listening to traders. So we have a large community. When we started, of course, it was tiny, but we already had experience in the industry, so we already knew what to start with. But now, everything that we do is based on what do traders want, what do brokers want, what do brokers want. And the way we build is we listen to them. We allow them to, we're transparent, they can meet the team, they can get the support they need, they can also suggest the features. When we build them, we also think of what is happening in other industries that we can use to introduce in trading space. So just a few examples right now. Everything that the community develops, for example, that they could maybe develop on their own, or they need to pay someone to develop, we try to integrate and make it available on the platform directly. So similar things like order calculators, stop loss and take profit calculators. But the real innovation comes from bringing AI, we spoke about AI, into the platform, so that, for example, we're working on TradeLocker Studio. It allows anyone, doesn't matter if you're a developer or not, you can make your own script. So you can develop your own bot, signal, indicator, anything like that. We just launched it this week for the conference, and we're going to continue building it, but we are taking first users there. So it will democratize, let's say, script development in a way. And it's just the beginning. And then also, we're making it social. So traders are new, they like Twitch, they like Discord, they like Telegram communities. So we're bringing that in TradeLocker. So if you're a broker, you have large affiliates, influencers that are promoting you. If they go on TradeLocker, they can teach the community directly on TradeLocker. So whatever they do on their chart, anyone watching can see on their screen. So if they're doing technical analysis, drawing on the chart, me as a watcher of the stream can see what they're doing, and I can copy the trade directly. I can do that all from TradeLocker and share it everywhere else. So that will bring a totally new, I think, demographics to TradeLocker also, but to the industry, where you aggregate different tools to one platform and make it possible to do everything in one place, basically.
That's absolutely for sure, I think. And I think it even goes down that road even further, that being able to integrate into one platform, and we're seeing, as you know, we're seeing a lot more web-based platforms now. Not so many people want to download an old-fashioned kind of, I mean, obviously there are people still use it, but the newer users don't want to do that. They're using web platforms. So having the ability to actually integrate dynamic third-party tools into a platform and use them all in one place is really important, because no longer, gone are the days where you will go and see somebody with lots of screens. A younger trader isn't going to do that. They're going to want, everything is mobile first, and mobile first is even old now, you could say, is yesterday. But of course, integrating third-party tools that are useful into a trading platform's main interface so they can be used on the same platform is really important, as is perhaps even having other, going one step further and having certain functionality on a mobile platform which is able to be adapted according to each use case as well.
Yeah, and if you look at two trends also that are going on in the tech industry are automation, so no code. If you're a marketer, if you're using some, let's say, one tool, you want to integrate it with the other. You don't want to log in, log out to each and do everything separately and have 100 apps that you're paying, and you have to log in, log out to each and know what's going on there. So everything has to be integrated, connected. You go to one place, you have everything that you need. And yeah, and I think crypto is doing it. Crypto industry did it really well when they were building their own platforms. When the whole industry started in for example, in 2020, 2021, a lot of projects were, for example, building in public or had a community. They were communicating directly with them, and you can see what people like, what they want there also, because they're younger generation, and that is the future. Yes. And about mobile trading. A lot of people now work remotely. They don't have 5 screens to travel with. They just want their laptop, go travel, work remotely, be a digital nomad maybe, and go to different places every month. They won't be able to get their screens there and have a perfect setup every time. So we got that feedback as well. They want one screen, everything there.
Absolutely. So imagine exactly that scenario where you have those young traders who have got themselves into those crypto platforms, which are very intuitive, mobile orientated, and there's all sorts of discussions on discussion boards about them that get people excited. And then there was low crypto volatility suddenly. So those people start looking for a different asset class to trade, but they've got into it by all that enthusiasm that started with, that got them interested in the first place, with those very, very cleverly designed apps. And exactly as you say, Luca, those the crypto industry got that aspect of their business absolutely right. But what happened then was there was lots of less volatility. There was a Bitcoin went down in value, so they start looking for other things and maybe trading traditional asset classes such as stocks and indices, equities, futures, CFDs maybe, and so forth. But then what they're not going to do is be happy with going back in time to use an old-fashioned platform. So they will want the same experience and the same level of user friendliness, but ability to be able to execute traditional asset classes. And I think that is where we should all be going towards now.
I think it's also important to mention that the nowadays copy trading solution, it's one of the most important tools. So, thank you, Luca. I think it's important to mention that copy trading solution, it's one of the most important tools now, and many new traders and experienced traders as well. So they try to build their strategies based on the different portfolios. and based on different strategies. So that's how they build their portfolios across all those asset classes that you mentioned. And besides, it's important that the platform has to have a single sign-on in order not to have, when you integrate any kind of back office system, you don't need to log in and log out and then log again into another platform. And even more, when you have a mobile application of the back office system, and then you need to go and download mobile application of the trading platform, which is kind of insane, right? To have two applications instead of one, because you're already flooded with all the applications on your phone. And so, yeah, and of course it has to be a sophisticated API, because automatic trading strategy, don't forget, this is the most powerful thing for the traders. So that's all what they do, because the day traders, I mean the traders who just do manual trading, now we see less and less cases like this. So mostly of them, they are coming towards to the total automated strategies.
Yeah, very insightful, and we're almost out of time over here. I think maybe in a quick summary over here, we spoke about a lot of interesting topics here: the AI side of things, cybersecurity, mobile, how the industry is potentially going to shape and change. You know, maybe we're in a future of speaking to trade, and how does that merge with online banking, this kind of super app, the WeChat, let's call it, of a financial services retail-based app where all financial-related aspects of a single person is kind of merged into this one place. Trading, banking, crypto, insurance, whatever it is, and on the back of all of that, it's leaders like us over here who shape that future. Thank you all very much. Thank you, to whoever attended over here, and looking forward to seeing everybody at the. Have a great time.
Thank you.